Welcome back. We're gonna work on the biggest issue that we have, which is the height of that roll hoop. So if you watched the earlier video, I was talking about how there needs to be clearance between your head, your helmet, and the roll hoop, such that if you roll over, the roll hoop's dragging on the ground instead of your head. So I'm also going to introduce you to, in order to show you how that works, to the, as we like to call them, the nut behind the wheel, the driver. So here's Luke. Say hello, Luke.
Hi guys.
So we need some dead weight in the car of roughly the approximately correct size. So Luke's going to do the job. He is a good bit taller than me. So if we stand back a little bit and kind of look at him here, look forward there, Luke. You can see that his head is right up there. Okay, above the, almost above the roll hoop. And so that's not going to work. Now Luke is sitting on a seat. There's actually a seat inside the car, which is kind of lifting him up a little bit, and he's sitting behind the roll hoop. But let's show you the test, the kind of the broom handle test that we need to do, and let's see how far off we are on that. Okay, so we're doing the broom handle test. Hopefully you guys can see that long yellow broom handle, and it's resting on the front of the car there, the front of the chassis rather, and Luke is kind of showing us what it looks like, and you can see there's a big gap obviously between the broom handle and the roll hoop. So it should be actually resting on the roll hoop, and there should be solid clearance between Luke's head and that broom handle, and that is not the case. The other thing is we could put, and often newer cars have a front roll hoop here as well, which kind of helps us out and helps the angle, but that is our big challenge. So we're going to play around a little bit here. We're going to take the seat out, see how much that helps us, but really the goal is we're trying to understand what kind of roll hoop adjustments we need to make. And as I kind of mentioned in the last episode, that's a big job. It's not something Luke or I can do. So we're gonna have to strip the car down and send it off to a fabricator, which is going to mean the car's not available to us for a little while to actually work on. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest with you, but let's play around a little bit.
Okay guys, so currently we are now removing the seat. See how much space that gives me when I sit back in it. And what we might end up doing is making a new seat later. So I do have a little extra room there.
So this is just a kind of cool cover, like a period appropriate kind of leather cover, which makes it look great. But underneath it we have a seat made of fiberglass. Okay, and so you can see we've done a bit of work on this already. We've cut it out for the belts. So this just actually sits in here. That was a little bit tricky to get out. Why do you want a seat, Luke?
So I can race.
Yeah, it's actually, it's not about being comfortable or anything like that. It's actually about being snug and secure in there, because there are G-forces that way, and you start moving around. So another thing that we got to do on the list is actually pour a seat. So that's something we'll do later on. But as you look in here, you can see we've taken the seat out. It is a mess in here already. That's our fuel cell hiding in there, and we've got a cover on it, but you can see there's a little bit more room. So we're going to get Luke to jump back in, and let's do the broom test again. Okay, so we're back with Luke in the car with the seat actually out, and you can see, hopefully you can see, that it still is definitely not enough. If you look at Luke's knees, are kind of bent up a little bit in there, and the only thing that's behind him there is the fuel cell. And so options for us, we could get a different fuel cell. The problem is fuel cells are wildly expensive, so that's not going to work. Here, by the way, is the gap, so it's quite a bit of distance. So from that angle you can see straight away that we need to add, realistically, I don't know what that is, 2 to 3, probably realistically 4 inches on top to give us the space we need. So that's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to do, but it's got to be done. And then the other thing we can do is we'll add in this roll hoop at the front, which will sit under the bodywork, so you won't actually change the look of the car. So that's it. I think we have our answer. We definitely have to do the roll hoop. All right, so you kind of have an idea of how that's going to work, and honestly, I'm kind of dreading it. It's going to be so much work. So it looks like we need to add another probably 3 inches, maybe 4 inches to the roll hoop. So, but I'm going to dodge that. I'm going to come back because we really need to measure that up really properly, and probably I want to add some other bars in. So I'm not going to do too much more on that. But what I am going to do is start on this horrible mess in here, which is all caused by a leak that developed on this guy. It's got a crack underneath here. This is the water, I guess, expansion tank or swirl pot, and you can see the mess that it's caused. So I'm going to take it off. We can start looking at it. There's a chance we can definitely fix it. We get somebody to weld it up, but to be honest with you, it's fixed on the car. And on the motor rather, and the motors are like on your road car, you'd actually have rubber mounts on the motor to kind of isolate the car, but these are, I don't know if you can see it, but it's mounted directly onto the chassis, and so everything vibrates, and so this thing is vibrating, and that's probably what caused the issue. And so we could certainly get it welded up, and we probably will get it welded up, but I think we're going to be back to the same issue again. So it's got to come off, and we'll work from there. Okay, that took a little bit longer than I thought to come off, but here it is. Okay, here it is a little bit cleaned up, and hopefully you can see it right here. So you can see it's a bit junky around here. We had some stuff in there, but it was leaking all around that weld, and I was able to pump most of the water out of the engine in just a couple of minutes. So not something that we can live with, of course. I've been looking around for so this mounts right on the engine, and the issue here is that this whole thing is vibrating with the engine, and that's where it's given up first, but it's gonna vibrate itself to pieces over time. So I was looking to find I thought I'd be able to buy something online actually to replicate this, but I'm looking at it now. There's a lot of work gone into doing this, so I'm going to see if I can get find a fabricator to split this from that and kind of extend it out. I'll put a rubber piece in between, and so then it will not be vibrating with the engine. It'll be isolated. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, so we made a start. Not a bad day's work, to be honest with you. I've got some stuff to do to find some people to actually do some of the welding and the work on the car. Also got to get a trailer, which I've got a lead on, and a tow vehicle, so a load of other stuff to be doing. But we're on the road, and we've got about 89 days left to go.